Hey, start interview.
Right. Question one. Tell me about yourself.
Hello, I am Dipanshu from Delhi. I am a full stack web developer. I completed my diploma in computer engineering from AIT, followed by my graduation in BCA. After that, I joined Intel Path full stack development course, and now I am focused on manual development. For development, I use a front end React and Tailwind. For my backend, I use Node.js and Express, and for my database, I use MongoDB. One of my recent projects is personal finance tracking app that extract data from PDF and so categorize spending through visual representation on dashboard. Right now, I am improving my backend skills and enhance my communication, aiming for a full-time role in full stack development.
Thanks. Question two. Explain map, filter, and reduce.
Map return reduce. These are the array method that is used to processing data. Map is used whenever we have to transfer each element of an array, and map return an array, a new array. Filter is used and when we have to return only those elements which satisfy the condition. And reduce is used when we have to reduce element and like some average, uh, and it only return a single value.
Question three. What's the difference between map and forEach?
Map and forEach both are the arrays method, but the main difference between them is the map return an array, and on the other hand, forEach doesn't return any array. Map map support method chaining, and forEach does not support method chaining. Map is mainly used when we have to transform each element of an array. On the other hand, forEach is not directly changed, is not used to directly transform the new array.
Question four. What is React Router? Why do we use it?
React Router is a library in React application that is used to navigate in our application. It allows us to navigate and between components like between our app components like home, dashboard, contact, etc. By using React Router, it is easy for us to create a single page application, and it is easy to maintain it and communicate and maintain it and load the components without reloading the entire page.
Question five. What is a REST API?
REST API stand for Representational State Transfer State Transfer Application Programming Interface. It is a modern way to communicate between front end and back end by using HTTP request. There are mainly four type of HTTP requests which we use as a way to communicate. For communicate between front end and back end is first one is get, that is used to retrieve data. Second one is post, that is used to update it and used to send data. Third one is put and patch. This is used to update data. And fourth one is delete. This is used to remove data.
Question six. What is BSON? How is it different from JSON?
BSON is stand for binary JSON, and it is used by MongoDB to store data internally in BSON format. The main difference between JSON and JSON is a text based and BSON is binary format. And second difference is JSON is human readable and BSON is not, and not a human readable. JSON is used to exchange data and BSON is used to store data in MongoDB. JSON have a minimum. JSON has limited data types, and JSON has more data type uh, like date and object ID, etc.
Question seven. Difference between block and inline elements.
Block and inline elements are the CSS element are divided into two types: block and inline elements. Block element are those elements that is start with the new lines and it takes or occupy the maximum width and always start with a new line. While inline element are those elements that is not started with a new line and only occupied their content required space. Few example of block element is div, paragraph, heading, etc. And few example of inline element is span, anchor tag, bold, strong, etc.
Okay. Question 8. Difference between margin and padding.
Margin and padding both are used. Both are the component of CSS box model. And margin is used when we have a space outside the border, and padding is used when we want space between the border and the main content. When we have to, if we when we have a space, for example, when we want the space between the content and the border of in that element, we use padding. And when we want a space among two components, among two elements, we use margin.
Got it. That was the last question. Let me pull together your feedback.
Okay, please do.
Thanks for waiting. Here is your feedback. For Q1, I gave you an 8.5, strong intro, but minor phrasing issues. Q2, 8 out of 10, good understanding, but add examples next time. Q3, 8.5, nice contrast and mention side effects. Q4, 8 out of 10, clear and correct overall. Q5, 7.5, main structure is okay, but remember, post create, put and patch update. Q6, 9 out of 10, very strong. Q7, 8 out of 10, clear but correct the HTML versus CSS confusion. Q8, 9 out of 10, that was solid and clear. Your overall score is an 8.3 out of 10. That's a solid fresher level. Biggest gains now will come from polishing your English and adding one or two crisp technical keywords per answer. You're doing well. Keep practicing and it'll show in the next round.
Thank you.